Hi students. Now I just continue the Bryophyta classification as proposed by G.M. Smith, Part 2. That means up to Hepatic we're going to let us continue with the Hepatic. Up till now we discussed the general characteristics of Hepatic, and now we would like to see how Smith divided it into various orders. He divided it into 4 orders, and these are Spherocarpales, Markenschales, Jungermanniales, and Calobriales. In Spherocarpaceae, he included two families, Spherocarpaceae and Rhyliaceae, whereas in Markenschales, he included 5 families, Rixiaceae, Corsiniaceae, Targionaceae, Monoclyaceae, and Markensiaceae. Jungermanniales, he did not include directly families. He divided it into suborders, 2 suborders, Mercerini and Jungermanni, and then he just directly took these some types in these. And Calobriales, he included only 1 family, and that is Calobriaceae or Haplometriaceae. Now let us discuss the first order of Hepataceae, that is Spherocarpales. We will be taking one type, that is Spherocarpus. You can see on the right hand side on the Spherocarpus, how does it look like in the nature and how the gametophyte looks like, and you can see the structures on the gametophyte. Essentially lobate thallus of parenchyma cells reclining or erect with smooth-walled rhizoids, each sex organ surrounded by an enveloping sac. Sporophyte is spherical, lacking seta and elaters, opening by disintegration of the unornamented jacket cells. Terrestrial except the rhylia, aquatic rhylia. After Spherocarpales, the second order is Markenschales. You already studied Markenschia species, and you can see here I just pasted 2 photographs of Markenschia, one showing the gemmy and the thallus dorsiventrally flattened, and another one showing the erect antheridial or bearing the antheridia like this only. You have the archigoniophore, so they are on the erect structures. Gametophyte thallus usually prostrate, dorsiventral dichotomous branch, thallus with a more or less marked midrib. Internal tissues are differentiated into 2 distinct regions, as you know already, the dorsal and the ventral region, where dorsal is green and ventral is slightly colored, and it has got it's the similar structure that of the somewhat that of Rixia. The ventral region is composed of compact, colorless parenchymatous storage tissue. Scales are usually present on the ventral surface of the thallus. The ventral surface of the thallus bears scales and 2 kinds of rhizoids, smooth-walled and tuberclate. The male and female sex organs are either scattered along the midrib or grouped in receptacles, which are sometimes raised into the air. The sporogonium is simple, or sporophyte is simple in structure and small, either with or without seta. It has capsule wall, 1 cell in thickness. Columella is absent. Capsule dehisces by various ways, but never by 4 regular valves. You have only to study up to orders. So order Markenschales. Let us see how many families he has included in Markenschales. He has included 5 families: Rixiaceae, Corsiniaceae, Targionaceae, Monoclyaceae, and Markensiaceae. In Rixiaceae, one reference species we can talk about Rixia species, and in Corsiniaceae we can study one Corsinia species, and in Targionaceae, Targiona species, and in Monoclyaceae, Monoclea species, and in Markensiaceae, Markensia, the type we are well aware of. We have already studied in detail the life cycle. We discussed first order Spherocarpales, second Markenschales, and third is Jungermanniales, commonly called leafy liverworts, also called scale moss. The Jungermanniales have the plant body more complex than that of the Markenschales. The sporophytes have multilayered capsule walls and a general structure which is also more elaborate than that of the Markenschales. Simpler with thallus or simple foliose prostrate gametophyte and apical growth. The stem generally has 3 rows of leaves along its length. One of these rows is much reduced in size and often have a distinctly different shape and are called amphigastria. Continue. The mature gametophyte of the liverworts can be either dioecious, that means male and female sex organs will be borne by separate thalli, or monoecious, where both male and female sex organ will be borne by the same thallus. The fertilized egg eventually develops into the sporophyte, which remains dependent on the gametophyte for water and nutrients. The sporophyte spore-containing spore, sporangium, is usually attached to the gametophyte by an elongated theta. The spore enzyme ruptures and it releases spores which germinate ultimately into the gametophyte. The gametophyte remains attached to the substratum by means of filamentous rhizoids, which are smooth-walled. Unlike spherocarpales and markenschales, Jungermanniales he divided into two suborders, Madgerni and Jungermanni. In Madgerni, he included some types. Four of the types I have written here. The Ricardia is one of the types, and in Jungermanni he included so many. Porilla is one of the types. We finished with the spherocarpales, markenschales, Jungermanniales, which he divided into suborders. Now we move to the last one, that is Calobriales. Calobriales, let us just first talk about the characteristic features. Erect leafy gametophytes, leaves all alike, leaf-like structure rather I should say, and 3D are ovoid, stalked and apical. Archiconia differ from those of other Hepaticae in that the jacket of the neck has only 4 vertical rows of cells. The sporophyte has an elongated capsule whose jacket layer is only 1 cell in thickness except at the apex. Now let us see in Calobriales the order. How many families he included? He included only one family, that is Haplometriaceae, or we also call it as Calobriaceae. In this group he included two types, that is Haplometrium and Calobrium. With this we finished the description of Hepaticae, the orders it has, the families it includes, and the suborders it includes, and the types, the reference purposes, the types which it includes, and with that we finish the Hepaticae description. And with, I just stop it here with a big thank you to all of you. Please watch other videos in continuation with Hepaticae. Now we'll go to the Anthoceridae. Thank you. Please like it, share it, and subscribe it. Thank you.